I don't even know how to start this video because I am so mad. But what's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, I have a crazy one for you guys today. If you've been watching me for some time now, you know that I gave birth to my first daughter in prison, and the stress and the fear and the anxiety around the fact that I knew that I was going to have to give birth in prison was so overwhelming that my blood pressure had to constantly be watched because I was so afraid that I was going to be left alone to give birth in a dirty jail cell. And that has happened to many women in this country. So, before we get into that, if you are new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a recovering addict who served time in prison, and my entire life story is in the description box down below. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Patreon, that's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked down below, as well as my vlog channel where you can see me doing vlog stuff, like microblading my eyebrows. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I think the only way to start this video is by reading the article from Vice and then sharing my thoughts on it so that you guys hear the entire story and not just me like yelling and crying, which is what I want to do. Big shout out to my friend Ryan Leone who posted this on Facebook, otherwise I would have not seen it, so thank you so much for sharing that and bringing that to my attention. A woman in jail says she had to chew off her umbilical cord after giving birth alone. Kelsey Love also ripped open her mattress and climbed inside with her infant son after giving birth, according to a lawsuit. This article came out February 22nd, 2021. Kelsey Love screamed for 40 minutes at 8 months pregnant. She lay naked on her cell floor, through tears, cried something's wrong, and that her baby was coming out. She indicated that she had been having contractions and begged to be taken to the doctor. None of it was enough to convince the employees of Franklin County Regional Jail in Kentucky to get her medical help, according to a 2019 lawsuit filed by Love, who gave birth alone in her cell in May 2017. But last week, she reached a $200,000 settlement, which Franklin County and numerous jail staffers, according to the Lexington Leader-Herald. On Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Gregory Van Tattenhove approved the settlement between Kelsey Love and the Franklin County Regional Jail. Although public records don't spell out the exact terms of the settlement, Love's attorney, Aaron Bentley, told the Leader-Herald that Love would receive the $200,000 payment. "We certainly view it as a vindication of her rights," he told the paper. Love was 8 months pregnant when she was jailed on May 14th, 2017 after being arrested for under the influence. When she was booked, she told jail officials that she'd recently used meth and heroin, according to a motion filed by Bentley. Love also revealed that she was 8 months pregnant. Under the jail's policies, Love's pregnancy meant that staff would have to check on her every 10 minutes, according to Love's lawsuit. By the early morning of May 16th, it was clear something was wrong, according to Bentley's motion. When a deputy checked on her, Love was lying naked on her floor crying. That's when Love told the deputy that her baby was coming, per Bentley's motion. The deputy called a nurse but didn't say that Love was likely having contractions, according to the motion. The nurse told the deputy to observe Love and call her if anything changed. In an incident report, the deputies didn't mention Love's suggestions that she was in labor, but instead said it was unclear whether Love was in withdrawal or possibly still intoxicated, per the motion. Another jail staffer heard Love scream, "Somebody help me," multiple times, but no one checked on Love for about an hour, per Bentley's motion. At just past 8 a.m., a nurse and a jail staffer finally checked on her and found Bentley with a large amount of blood smeared across her cell. Love had given birth. She also ripped open her mattress and climbed inside with her infant son, according to the motion. Love said she chewed off the umbilical cord, per this motion. Despite her obvious condition, no defendant provided her medical care or attention. Love's lawsuit alleged despite her obvious condition, no defendant requested that a medical professional provide Love with medical care or attention. Attorneys for the jail employees and the county have denied all wrongdoing, saying there's no evidence that employees knew that Love was in labor before discovering her holding her newborn son. The jail's insurance company will pay the $200,000 settlement. A lawyer for the county and the employees told the outlet that they didn't admit fault in the settlement. We're just gonna pause right here. I do wanna back up because I know that she came into the jail and she was under the influence of drugs. Now, you all know my story. I was unaware that I was pregnant, and when I was booked into jail, I was also detoxing from pills and from methamphetamine. If I hadn't been arrested in that moment, who knows if I would have continued my drug use. My substance use disorder was so bad that I no longer wanted to live, and I could not see a way out of it. So I don't want anyone to judge her or shame her. This is of course a tragedy that she was using while pregnant, but it's a very real problem. You know, addiction is a very complex disease of the mind, and she was struggling. I wish that she had received help for that, but that's where we're at. The article ends with, Love has now been sober for 2 years, Bentley told the Herald. Although she still has night terrors from her labor and delivery in jail, she is doing great. So she is now sober. Please do not judge her or shame her. We have not walked in her shoes. We don't know what she was going through, but I'm so happy that she is sober. Let me back up a little bit though. It was unclear by the jail that she was in labor because they didn't check on her for an hour after screaming that she was in labor and screaming for help. This is a very real problem that happens in jail. A lot of correctional officers tend to believe that inmates are lying. They believe that because some inmates have lied to do a plethora of different things. Get to the hallway, get attention. It has happened. However, it is their job to take things like this seriously. And if a woman comes in jail 8 or 9 months pregnant and she says she's in labor, believe her so that this shit doesn't happen. She chewed off the umbilical cord. She was so helpless that she felt as though she had to do that to detach the baby from her body so that she could then deliver the afterbirth. Do you have any idea how horrifying and gruesome that must have been? Because I sure as hell don't. I was fortunate enough to be taken to a hospital. You know, I was left alone in labor for hours, but I got to a hospital. And I still have trauma and PTSD from that experience. I can't imagine the long-term effects of what she is going through. Night terrors is probably just one of the symptoms that she's going through. So my heart is broken for her. This article makes no mention of how the baby is doing either, and my heart breaks for her. Now, $200,000, that's it? Are you out of your mind? $200,000? She should have lifetime therapy paid for. She should have more than $200,000, not because of the money, but because of what that says to the public. It says that your abuse and your trauma and our negligence is only worth $200,000. And we do not have to admit fault. That is the biggest problem when dealing with lawsuits, especially in prison, is that these jailers and these staff members and the medical team, they can say, we did nothing wrong. Shouldn't have come to jail. Nope, it was unclear. I couldn't tell that she was in labor, and they get to publicly say, we will not admit any fault or wrongdoing. That doesn't make it better. They need to see very clearly and publicly, I messed up. Just like inmates have to deal with that very publicly when we make a mistake. When we do something wrong and we are arrested and put in jail, that is public, and we have to publicly say, I am guilty, Your Honor, or I am innocent, Your Honor, and we have to air that all out. The fact that there are no repercussions to these staff members and they can get away with saying they did nothing wrong is just disgusting to me. This is clear negligence. This is gruesome. This is heartbreaking. And to everyone that says you just shouldn't have broken the law, stop making substance use disorder illegal. How about that? Stop making mental health illegal. You know, I've been to prison and I have found that there are more people in need of mental health and treatment than I've met real criminals. Now, have I met some evil people that you sit next to and you get really uncomfortable? Yes. Do we need prison in America? Yes. However, when that same system is okay with staff members causing negligence and this kind of shit, we have a problem. When 60% of inmates leave prison with PTSD, that is a problem. We need to take a good, hard look in the mirror and see the system for what it is and what it is doing. It's not okay for the staff members of these jails to commit crimes like negligence. Also, I do want to add here that mental health is a very low priority. Now, I've met some psychiatrists and mental health people in prison that want so desperately to help the inmates, but they can't because their regulations and the rules are against mental health staff, you know? So the mental health staff in prisons, they want to do more and they want to help. For example, I did time with women that would self-harm, and the prison would give rubber bands to people that struggled with self-harm. And if they felt anxious, they were told to snap their wrist with a rubber band so that they weren't self-harming. Well, correctional officers did not like that, and they would confiscate and take away the rubber bands because that's technically contraband, even though it is a medical tool. It is a mental health tool that was given to them by the staff members. Now, this sounds so weird saying this, but prisons, the priority is your physical health. Doesn't make any sense. They physically have to keep you alive, technically. That's their priority. So if you say that you want to no longer live, they strip you naked, put you in a cell with nothing, and they watch you for 72 hours or until you say, I no longer want to take my life. That doesn't make it better. So they have to physically remove anything from you that you could harm yourself with because they have to physically keep you alive. Mental health is just as important as our physical health, and everything that we're doing right now in jail and prison is wrong. It is wrong. It is just at the core of what it is wrong. There are a lot of people out there that want to scream, you shouldn't have broken the law, you shouldn't have been doing drugs, blah, blah, blah. I don't want my tax dollars going to prison reform, but if you really cared about your tax dollars, then you would care about these people getting the help that they need so they stop going back to prison. Recidivism rates are sky high. Trauma and PTSD of inmates are sky high. Relapses are sky high. We have a lot of work to do when it comes to prison reform, and the first step is, in my opinion, decriminalizing drugs so less people go to prison, and then we can reallocate funds to job training and job placement so that when people get out, they can find a job and they can be stable. My heart goes out to this woman, and this jail should be ashamed of themselves. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, whatever that looks like to you, because there's no wrong way to recover. Please do not break the law. Try your best not to, and I will see you in my next one.